Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. A real pleasure to have you here with us today. Huge congrats on the film. I just love how it's quite like a mashup of genres. It's kind of the romance drama elements, but then there's kind of action thriller. There's also like coming of age sort of storylines. When you first read the script, what jumped out to you? Had you already read the book or seen the Spanish film?
Hadn't, no, like wasn't aware of it at all. So it was kind of like going back, and then after reading the script and like filming it, actually, like I made sure I was like completely done with this, and then went back and did that. But so much jumped out to me. I think the kind of chaos of it all was like in total what I was like attracted to this. So like all of them little elements and the things of like the really human conversations within that, like in between like a mad action fight scene, you'll also have a really lovely like scene between like you and Matt, and like I just thought that was wonderful that we kind of had a little bit of everything, because it's a very much a popcorn film, but they've also got really beautiful moments of just like cinema. Do you know what I mean? So it's nice.
The cars. No.
The food.
The cars and the food. No. My first experience was meeting this one. So that was no, like that was in the audition. So that was so joyous, you know, and like instantly I was like, I got a friend. So,
yeah, we're sorted.
Yeah, we're sorted.
Don't worry.
So yeah, that was it.
And tell us a bit about the characters that you play and also the relationship that they have with each other and how you kind of fostered that between you.
So I play Jenna, who is initially a friend of Nick's, but then ends up becoming a friend of Noah's. And she kind of comes in as like the level head in between all of the chaos in all of this. And Lion is Jenna's boyfriend and also a friend of Nick's, also like Nick's trainer and stuff.
Yeah, kind of like an older brother figure.
Yeah.
You know?
But both of them are very much direct, straight to the point. They come in with like the no bullshit response to what you need to hear.
The honest friends.
Yeah, they're very, very honest, very, very honest friends. But we kind of initially, like the first time we ever met was in the chemistry read, and Kerim like walked into the room and straight away I was like, oh, this is a really lovely person. Like this is just someone I know I'm going to get on with. And then we had to do an improv scene, which is horrible to do in a chemistry with like a stranger. But both of us just sat there and we were like, okay, we're really getting into this, like knew what we was doing. And then we both quote the same Al Pacino quote at the same time. We were like, we're both losers. Great. Great.
Yeah.
So yeah, then that was it, then we were sorted.
Yeah, I mean, it's great, man. I think like he runs a boxing gym, and is just really good friends with Nick. And I think like their relationship, they're from total different like social classes, as in like Lion's more working class, and obviously Nick has money, you know. And I think that dynamic is so beautiful to explore, and still how it's somehow genuine, their friendship.
Yeah.
And then we've got our relationship, which is very different to Nick and Noah's. And I think highlights the fact that like you can have sort of young, grounded relationships, and there's a sense of trust with us, I think, and commitment, you know.
And such an incredible cast across the board, but particularly, you know, Asher and Matt right at the centre of it, and as Noah and Nick. And I just love kind of, you know, this push and pull that's going between them throughout the whole film. And there's this kind of electricity and this tension. What was it like working with both of them and seeing their performance with each other?
They're absolutely fantastic. Like both of them are proper, like true to the core stars. They're insane. But the way in which they work together is so beautiful and so like raw and honest, and they spend so much time like working and putting in the energy and putting in the effort that then when they're on set they just get to play. And that's where that kind of like the push and pull is there, but there's so many little beats and moments that I know they added in that were just playful things that they kind of mess with each other doing. So yeah, they're fantastic. They're like,
yeah,
I've said nothing negative
about
I
know.
They're great.
Yeah, to add to the fantasticness, I think they're just wonderful people, innit? First and foremost, and I think that just makes our job so much easier, because you want to go to work and be with friends who are your colleagues, you know, as opposed to going to work and being like, you know. So they're just great. Yeah, they're beautiful people.
Yeah.
And I guess it's indicated right there in the title, but London really is a character in this film, isn't it? Yeah. And I mean, obviously it's like a heightened version, and I wonder if there is some of that, like, like that American view on it.
Well,
London's definitely
a city.
London is a city, big shit.
You've got all elements, right? You've got kind of like the glossy high class side, the traditional countryside bit, and then kind of like gritty East London comes into. What was it like, you know, being in and around London, shooting the film, and then seeing it up on screen in that way?
It's so vibrant, and it really, like, I think creates a great backdrop for a reimagining of a story. You know, like it does the work. It does the work in its own right, and I think that really allows us to just sit in it.
Play with it.
Play with it.
for me, getting to see more of London was really exciting. Like going, like when we was at Nick's house and like those kind of areas that were completely like areas that tourists wouldn't normally go to, was really wonderful to kind of see these completely, because they're completely contrasting backgrounds. Like the visual side of it is so opposing to one another, but they're in like 20 minutes of each other.
Yeah. London's my favourite city, man.
Yeah, it's sick.
It's just like, yeah, I mean, I'm probably biased, but it's the best.
And I think it's one of these films, it's like really it's kind of a nostalgic feel to it maybe, of like those teen movies I watched kind of growing up and stuff.
That was what pulled me to it.
And it kind of, you know, you're really drawn into the story and on the edge of your seat, but there's also a lot of like big themes kind of simmering underneath about how, you know, trauma that you can have in your past or, you know, from your parents, from your family, you can carry with you, and how it's important sometimes to let go of that. So do you think people can take something away in that sense?
That's so beautiful that you pulled that out. I really respect that.
I really hope so. I really think, because they're really subtle. It's not very like in your face. It's not a film that's coming away that expects you to take a message or like a moral from it almost.
Yeah.
But they're there, and I find especially these, like you were saying, these kind of young films, these films for like a younger audience, these films that come out in like the 90s and the 2000s, they always tend to have that, whereas this is a little bit more elevated than that. It's a little bit older than that. It's kind of like appropriate for any age, if not. But it's still got those themes in, and you can really resonate with it at any point. I think there's still something that's a little bit, you can take it. Do you know what I mean? You can take it with you, which is nice.
And to show the sort of younger generation that you can overcome stuff, overcome trauma. I think that's magical.
And allow them a place to like find themselves in.
Yeah,
it's
man.
lovely, like in a
And
film.
we're all just finding ourselves in the film as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Throughout the process of it, man.
Thanks so much for sharing all that with me.
Thank you.
Huge congrats on the film.
Thanks.
Can't wait for everyone else to see it. Enjoy the premiere tonight as well.